Well, hello everyone. This is Jenny from Cricklewood Crossing, and today I'm coming to you on Friday the 22nd. There's a few things that I would like to talk about first before I get into the WIPS and the cross-stitching projects that I'm going to be working on or have been working on, and the things that I'm doing. It's not also just a channel about cross-stitch. I like to talk about all the other different crafts that I like to do, and sometimes some health things. And that's the first thing I want to talk about really quickly today. Is my bout with COVID. Just the day after Christmas, my whole family came down with the COVID virus. We didn't realise that my daughter, she had got it from her boss at work. He had come and given it to a few of his managers, and she came home on Christmas Eve. Didn't think anything about it. We all got together on Christmas Day, and then we all started not feeling very good a day or two after Christmas. We've been very blessed. I know there's so many that have lost loved ones or have been struggling really bad with this virus, but we have been very blessed in having it very mild. Well, most of us had it very mild, I should say. There was 8 of us that got together for Christmas. We didn't think that any of us had it, and when we got together, just had an enjoyable, wonderful Christmas together, and then it hit us. I just wanted to kind of talk to you about some of the things that I learned with me dealing with COVID and what has got me through it. Especially, let me tell you, at the beginning, I was really, really nervous about getting COVID. I lost a lot of hours at my job at the garden centre, but it went down to 1 day a week. And with everything that was going on with COVID in the early days, I was quite nervous because I have grown up as an asthmatic. I have a little kind of slit in one of the mitral valves in my heart, and I also have an autoimmune disease, fibromyalgia. So I was quite fearful of getting COVID. And so I kind of locked myself away in my home like we all were supposed to do. I'd go out just very rarely, mostly just with my families, go through a drive-through, etc., etc. And so I have been really careful, washing my hands, wearing my mask constantly. So I guess you never know when it's going to hit you or where you're going to get it from, I guess. So I guess it happened with our family that my husband and my daughter said it felt like a really mild cold, a head cold, and they didn't have any problems with it. One of our friend's sons, Russell, he is 31, and he came to join us for Christmas Day because he's from Australia as well. He's Australian, and he has MS, and so he got quite sick at the beginning. He had to go to the hospital because his oxygen levels dropped below 90, and they had to kind of build that up for him. So we were really feeling not quite good about that for our dear Russell. And but I'll tell you what happened prior along really quickly. And then my oldest son and his wife, his new wife, had symptoms, but they came back negative twice. They had the test twice. And then our youngest son and his wife, who's from Australia, and she's out visiting at the moment, she got it, probably the strongest out of the least of, I'll tell you those that she has been brought up with as an asthmatic, and so she lost all the taste in her mouth, she couldn't smell things, she was really tired, really achy, but none of us ever had any fever, or I had a really sore throat, and right at the beginning, like probably 2 days into it, I was having a little trouble breathing. So my husband kind of worried about me, and so he took me to the emergency room. I want to tell you a little bit of my experience with the emergency room. Very grateful all those that put their lives in our hands. We put our lives in their hands, I should say, and grateful for all those who are sacrificing their time to help us through this COVID. When I went into the emergency room, of course, my husband couldn't come through, and I had to go through the back myself. It was really kind of scary, actually, because I didn't know how bad it was going to get or if it was going to get any worse, my breathing. And so they checked my oxygen levels, my temperature, my breathing, everything, and it was quite steady. So I was one of the lucky ones that had a chance to come back home, but they actually didn't let me go out the same way I'd come back in, where my husband was waiting in the waiting room. I got sent out a side door, and my husband had to come around and meet me, and that was really kind of scary and nervous. And I thought about all those that were struggling even more or never got a chance to come home. And so I had that little minute taste of what that would be like, and I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. But when I was there talking to the doctor, we were talking about different things that I had done, and he had told me, I just want to give you a little things that I had been doing and had got my family to do after we got COVID. The very first thing, way back in March, before I even got COVID, I had bought one of these. And this brand I got off of Amazon is called Santa Medical. It's one of the little oxygen meters, okay? And it also reads your pulse. Now, very easy to use. I bought it, it was like $21. And it's called from Santa Medical. Now, there's a whole range on Amazon. And I bought this and I put this away, not having COVID at the time. But when I was in the emergency room and I was talking to the doctor that was dealing with me at the time, he said that was probably one of the smartest things that I could have done, and that when I go home, that I need to check my oxygen levels every 2 to 3 hours. He said that that has been part of the problem with those that have really struggled a lot, because they might get that fever, the really high fever, they'll get exhaustion, they'll get a lot of stronger symptoms, and they will go to bed and they'll go to sleep, and then their oxygen levels drop under 90, and that's the dangerous level, and that's when a lot of them have to get put in hospital on oxygen and struggle, and some even die in their homes. And so he said that was probably one of the smartest things that I had done, was purchase one of these. So as soon as I got home from the emergency room, I got it out, put the batteries in, and I checked myself every 3 hours. There was a couple of times I dropped low, not down below 90, but I dropped kind of lower, like 92, 91, and then it built up again. But it actually made me feel a lot more secure. So if I could give anyone advice, that would be the first thing I would get everyone to do, is go buy yourself one of these oxygen monitors that has your pulse as well. It helps you be not so fearful when you go through, or if you get COVID and you're going through it, and it can help you in some drastic times. And that was one of the things that he said I was smart to do. So I recommend going through and buying these. When I got home, there was a few things that I end up doing. I end up buying some other things for my family, and I bought both my sons. Our daughter lives with us, but I bought both my sons and their wives one of these straight away. And I got Russell, who was with us, got his mother to buy him one to check his oxygen levels all the time. So that's the first thing that I recommend to get, even before you might even get COVID, because it's right there and it could save your life. This little tiny machine. Anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is also I came home. Now, I have known this for a long time. I don't know about you guys, but during winter time, mostly, when we have everything closed up and we have all of our heaters on, how dehydrated I have been getting. My whole family is getting, especially with COVID. So dehydrated, can't even have any saliva in my mouth. My eyes have been so dehydrated and sore. My body has been aching even more, and that's been because of how dehydrated I have been. So I have purchased a few stuff that would help me rehydrate, and I've been drinking lots of water, lots of herbal teas that would help me, and stuff like that. But one of the things that was very, very important, that I think that has helped us, and I went and bought Russell and both my sons one as well, was I went and bought a humidifier for each of them. Now, the humidifier was just one of the cheaper Vicks ones, where you can put Vicks in it. I've been putting tea tree oil, eucalyptus, and I have it going in our room constantly at night when we're asleep. And I found in the mornings that I'm not so dehydrated. I've slept better, and even with my husband snoring, he hasn't been snoring as much. And so I went and bought each of my families one of them, and they said it helped those that had COVID quite strongly. It helped them immensely going through all of that with COVID. So also, my husband and I, in Australia, we have like heating in that, but we don't have it throughout the whole house like you do here. You might have a wood heater or a heater in your living room and your kitchen and everything, and you might use that. But when you go to bed, that heat doesn't go up there. And so we just put all the blankets in when we're living in Australia. And I noticed, and I was thinking about this, last month, that when that happened, we never had so many colds. And I think the problem is you need some fresh air into your room. So ever since we've lived here, I've had our door open just a fraction, even during winter. We rug up with a lot of blankets. We've had the humidifier on, so that's add moisture into the air. And I totally think that has helped us through our COVID more than anything. I was reading an article of a lady who was a nurse, and she used to be a nurse, and she was quite in her older age, like in her 90s, living here in Utah, and she got COVID, and she came out of it, and they were all asking her, being 90, of how COVID hits our older people so strongly. She says she has always had a humidifier in her house. So I swear by one of those. That's one thing I would recommend everyone getting to have in their home as well. Also, being a big gardener, I swear by these things. All of my houseplants. Now there's, your houseplants add oxygen into your rooms, and I have quite a few that you can get quite a few that add more oxygen into the air, and I have those ones in my bedroom. So I think if you look up, I know you can look up on the internet, the peace lily is one of them. They're the ones that add a lot more oxygen into the air. And I recommend putting a few into your bedrooms when you sleep at night, and especially in this time during going through this pandemic. So there's some of the simpler things. Now, what I was told from the doctor when I came out, he said I needed to get on a 2,000 ICUs of this, D3. So I went hunting down the next morning, or my husband did. Well, not my husband, but we went through and ordered and got it online, I should say, at, I can't remember where we went, Walgreens. They brought it out to us, and we went and got some 2,000 milligrams of vitamin D3. That's one of the things that doctor told us to get on. The next thing he recommended was zinc. And I really love this brand called New Chapter. It's an organic. They use everything organic. And I really liked this brand when I worked for a health food company called Redmond's. And I'll talk a little bit about Redmond's in a minute. They look for the most purest products. And we carried, when I used to work for Redmond's, that was one of my first jobs when I moved to America. They carry this New Chapter brand. And I swear by these because they're an organic brand as well. And so I got myself some zinc. He also said get some vitamin C, and I thought I had some at home. I never got some, but we've been eating a lot of oranges, mandarins, to get the vitamin C into our bodies. So that's another thing he recommended. The things that I personally, being very big into health as well, I have had fibromyalgia for 16 years now, and I have never been on any medication. Now, those that may have fibromyalgia or know people that have it, it is quite a debilitating disease, and I have never been on any medication. Now, it wasn't for the doctors trying back in Australia when I was on it. They tried to get me to take all different tablets. I tried them for a couple of days, and I felt like I was not in control of my body or my mind, so I went off of it. And that's when I really got big into my health journey. And so for the last 16 years, I have never taken anything for my fibromyalgia except supplements and food and the things, my eating habits that I changed. We had our 10-acre organic farm, and so I always used to eat organically. Moving here, I still do. So one of the things, I can be slack. I mean, I might have some treats every now and then, and sometimes my body feels it when I do. But some of the things that I also took, other than the vitamin D3, the C, and the zinc that the doctor recommended, was because it breaks down your immune system, I got all my family onto these. Caholic Immune Formula 103 garlic tablets. Now on here it says take 2 a day. My rest of my family were doing that, but because I have my autoimmune disease, I take 4 a day. And no, it doesn't come out into my skin or anything like that. But so I got myself and my family onto those. Also, after I worked for Redmond's, the health food company, I went to work for a chiropractor, and he carried, and I worked for him for over a year or more, doing acupunctures, lasers, biocleansers, and the chiropractic care. And I totally believe in chiropractic care. You need to find a really good one, because I've had some bad experiences in Australia before I moved here. But you need to find a really, really good one that believes in the health side of it as well. And that's who I had gone to work for. And I believe that when your spine is straight and you've got your nerve endings down your spine, when any of that gets crushed, or your nerve endings get crushed, you can have a whole range of symptoms that happen with your body. And being fibromyalgia, and it being a nerve endings system up to the back of your brain and into your, that's why you have brain fogs and everything. I believe highly in my chiropractic care. When I'm not looking after myself in that way, my symptoms are a lot stronger. But he got me onto these totally. They're called from Nutrest, and I know you can get on Amazon, or you might have a person there that you can get it from, but they're called Total FLM. Now these build up your immune system because they're full of turmeric. So you might find another good brand, but I have been on these for quite a few years since I've lived here. I've been here for nearly 6 years now. 5 years now. And I take these all the time. They recommend 2. I take 3. I just take the extra one, and I believe that this has helped me with the COVID, but also with my autoimmune disease, which, your immune system's broken down. Another thing that I swear by, and I take it every night before I go to bed, I just got a little cup of water, throw some in, and I drink it down, and then I just make sure I drink a lot of water before I go to bed. And in the morning, sorry about this, but my bowels work really well, is apple cider vinegar. And you need to get the one with the mother, the pure one, and I totally believe in this. I only take it once a day, so I'm not crazy about it. I've used it on my hair, soft as anything on your hair. Why I take it? Because I believe that when you're detoxing and your immune system is low and you're detoxing things out, you need to keep your lymphatic system moving, and you need to keep your bowel open. And so this is what helps me to keep my bowel open. So I swear by apple cider vinegar. Another thing that I take every morning, I'm a big herbal tea drinker, and this is what I have every morning, is ginger. Now ginger is great for boosting the immunity. It reduces inflammation. It also helps any respiratory problems, which COVID is. It helps with improving your blood circulation, and that is, when your blood is pure, disease cannot be in your body. So it helps improve blood circulation, but most importantly, it relieves stress. Now in this COVID period, this pandemic, with everything that's going in the world at the moment, I think we need less stress in our life. So I drink a lot of ginger tea, and I really like this brand here, Tulsi Organic, and I have 1 cup in the morning, and then I might have some other hot drinks throughout the day, but I definitely have one of these. So I swear by ginger. I'm sure ginger tablets could help and everything, but I'm trying to hydrate myself as well, so I take the ginger. The last 2 things that I want to quickly talk about, and then I'll get on to my cross stitching and other things. Our bodies need antioxidants, and the best way you can get them is through berries. Now I've got a beautiful little bowl here because I haven't had breakfast this morning. I've got my ginger tea over there and I got my bowl of antioxidants. One of the best antioxidants berries you can have is your blueberries. I eat them in the morning, and I might put and these are all organically, and the best place I find the cheapest is Costco. So I also buy them in big, and I have them in smoothies in the morning, or I just eat them fresh like this. And I believe that that has helped with my COVID as well, getting a lot of antioxidants back in my system, and berries are the best one. You can have raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, everything like that. So they are some of the best things you can eat. I'm still hungry. The last thing I want to talk about, and no, I'm not affiliated and I don't get any money from this, but here in Utah, like I said, my first job that I ever had when I moved to Utah, sorry, there's a message that's come up, I hope it doesn't cut me off, I worked for a company called Redmond's. Now, if you live in here in Utah, you know that Redmond's, or anywhere else in the country, because I know they sell all over, is Redmond's salt. Real salt, it's called. So that's what they're known for, but they're also known for their bentonite clay that they get out of their salt mines. And so when I worked there, we were very blessed that every time we would run out, we were given a bucket of this bentonite clay, Redmond's bentonite clay. Okay, now you're probably saying, Jenny, well, what would that help with your COVID? Well, the Chinese believe, and a lot of people that are into health believe, that all your toxins from your body go down to your feet. And so about 3 times a week, I actually get a bucket of warm water, not real hot, but nice. And I put 3 scoops of this bentonite clay into my bucket of water, and I sit there and I soak my feet for about a half an hour. And that is supposed to help in drawing all the toxins out of your system. I just want to show you what it looks like. Okay, so I'm getting low, which is sad because I use it quite often. What they also promote is, and I would like to quickly tell you 2 little stories. When I worked in the shop and people would come up to the register and stuff like that and have, certain products, I'd ask them about the products or what they did to, they do to use it and stuff like that. And I had a few stories come up about this bentonite clay. And there was an older man, and he was probably about 75, maybe 78, something like that, somewhere between there. And he would always, quite often, buy a bucket of this bentonite clay. And so one day I got up and asked him and said, so what, may I ask what you use it for? I've noticed you've bought, a bucket and you quite buy them. He goes, I swear by the product. Now, like I said, I'm not affiliated. I don't get any money from this, but I just wanted to tell you, he said, I swear by this product. He said, every Sunday, my wife and I soak our feet in this bentonite clay. And we do it while we're sitting there watching TV, and we do it for about an hour each. And we haven't been sick in years. And he said, and I believe it's because we get rid of all the toxins out of our body through our feet. So that was one of the first stories. The second story was here there was a father came in, and he was a little bit beside himself when I was talking to him, and he asked me if I could help him come up with any ideas that could help his son. His son had just been living over in Argentina, and he got really sick, where the doctors said that they couldn't help him. And he needed something to help. He was desperate and he wanted anything. Like the doctors had tried to help him and they couldn't. And so he was trying to go the natural way. And I had said that I actually put him, I asked him why, and he said that his son was always sick, throwing up, breaking out in some rashes, could barely walk, his muscles were hurting him, and all these different little symptoms that he had. And I said to him, well, he needed to clean out his system. And the one thing I recommended was this bentonite clay. Now, you're going to think this is crazy, but we also believed, a lot of us that work there, that you can drink this bentonite clay, okay? So you might have a big glass of water, you put a teaspoon of this bentonite clay into your water, swish it around, you'll see that it'll go creamy, and a lot of sediments will come to the bottom of your dish. You leave that sediment, but you drink the creamy liquid, and when you drink it, it actually pulls the toxins from all parts of your body, okay? And but what is the most important thing that you needed to do? You had to drink a lot, because it's clay, it's cluggy, and so you had to flush it through your system. That was one of the things we got him on a bunch of other little health things for his son. And then he went out the door with his, he bought a smaller version. You don't have to buy this. They have different sizes. And he went out and he said, you know, he's going to give it a try. He would try anything. So we got him on a few other things as well. And so it was probably like maybe 6 to 8 weeks later, he came back in and he was smiling, and he came up and he said to me, I want to thank you so much. He said, I think you saved my son's life. And I said, what happened? And he said, after I went home and I got my son, he said it was hard to, it was hard to get him to drink it. He said, but he drank it, and he also soaked his foot in this. And he said all the sores on his body and his legs, he had it on his legs, started disappearing. He said, and with all the other stuff that would give him, he said it was like, it took a while. We said it was like, you know, weeks. And then he said he's still not 100% and he's still working through it. He said, but he swears us by this product, and he said he will be buying it all the time. So that was just a couple of little stories I thought I'd let you know. So bentonite clay, something to think about, even if you just soak it. Like I said, the Chinese totally believe that all your toxins go to your feet, and just soaking your feet at night can help. While I was sitting here waiting to do the video for a few minutes, I had to post something and I had my feet soaking in it. I do it 3 times a week now that I've had COVID. Before, I was probably only doing it maybe once a month, maybe even more than that. But since I've had COVID, I've been doing it 3 times a week and just pulling out the toxins in my system. Okay, so that was my little COVID bout. It's been a tough little run. I'm still not 100%. Mostly due to my fibromyalgia. It made my fibromyalgia flare through the roof. Probably the worst I've been since I moved over here, I have to say. And so I've been very vigilant in trying to get enough rest, watch what I eat, what I take, so, you know, everything like that. I've been really more stronger and more vigilant, I should say, in that. So it put it through the roof. So I can understand those that have other autoimmune diseases, how scary it can be. But I would recommend maybe trying to do more than anything, the humidifiers, open your windows a little bit, even in the winter, and the oxygen monitor more than anything, because that could save your life. And that's what the doctor said at the emergency room with me. All right, so these are all the products. I'm just going to take a few minutes and put them down here so I can get them off and we can talk cross stitch. All right. I might leave my blueberries here. Now, those, I just want to say quickly, those that have lost loved ones through COVID, my heart goes out to you. Yeah, it's been a tough time for all of us, but I believe that sometimes we can put things into place that may help us. And so I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. Okay, so I've got another message. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is my WIPS. I have, as you know, and I've probably thought about this a lot lately, that I'm probably more of a monogamous stitcher, or if not, one, maybe two things going at the same time. I have got lots of things to work on and lots of things kitted up, but I cannot keep on starting. By the time I'm tired, I do things for my business during the day, and I sit down at night, I can't be bothered changing hoops, putting things on other hoops, because when I'm working on things and I leave them for a long period of time, I try to take them off the hoop because I don't want them to leave marks on my fabric. So I've learned I'm pretty much a monogamous stitcher, maybe 2 projects going at the time. And like I said, sometimes I design patterns for my business, so I might be working on one of them. So what happened just recently, this was going to be one of my fully finished ones. I'll show it now though, but the reason I'm showing it now is one of my friends, Marie, and myself had worked on a new project. She had sent me the pattern and the floss and the material for us to work together at the beginning of 2021. And we both, we both finished it. I know that much, and I have fully finished it. So this is what I had worked on. It's called Little House Needleworks. No, Country Cottage Needleworks, I think. One of those, and it's called Daily Bread. Thankful for my daily bread. And this is what we had worked on together. Now, I've got to tell you, sorry about the glare from the window right there, But that's what I did. And I had it framed in just a black frame with a green mat. And I liked the green mat. See, I can't make a lot of things into, you know, flat folds or pillows. I might do a few pillows, but not a lot. In this small apartment, I don't have a lot of space to put things, but I have more space on my walls. So I frame mine more than I do make them into other things. I do have a few cushions coming that I need to fully finish, but so I try and frame them. And I really liked the green mat around this frame with this black frame and this project, you know, the colors in the project, I should say. Now, we changed it up a little bit. We used some silver chronic on the needles up here and down on each side. And these needles were supposed to hook around like this, but we cut them and made them pointy, and we just added one more floss on each end of those. So we changed it up a little bit, Marie and myself. I had so much fun. I think this is one of the first things I've properly finished in a long time, because I'm always doing other things. And I was so excited to get it done and work on with my dear friend Marie. Thank you, Marie. I had such a fun time. So now that actually sits right here, but I'll put it there in a minute. So that's one of the things I had worked on, one of the WIPS I got finished. I'll show a couple of other fully finished things in a minute. But another thing that I have been working on, Marie had sent me this pattern as well. I don't know if she's working on this. I haven't spoken to her in a week or so. But she had sent me this pattern because she had bought two, and I really liked it. And I thought, it's only really going to be really quick, so I'm going to work on this, which was Country Cottage Needleworks. It was called Farm Fresh. And this is how much I've done on it. Now, I've got to let you know that I watch a lot of, sorry, my nose is a little bit getting emotional there. I've been watching a lot of Flosstube when I was sick and stuff, and I heard people say that they, sometimes can't get their material really tight and strong and stuff like that. And I was a big, oh my gosh, what do you call them? This is what happens. They said you lose your memory when you get COVID. I think I have. What do you call them? Not the hoops, the frames, the little tiny plastic frames. I can't believe I can't remember what it is. Give me a second. I'll remember it in a minute. Anyway, I was using those square plastic frames. Q-snaps. See, it does come back. I was using Q-snaps all the time, and I could always use a little bit of rubber and some felt and stuff around it before I put it on, and the little plastic things that go around. But over a period of time, I kept on having to move them along, and I could never get a really tight finish, and it would drive me crazy because I was always undoing them. And put those Q-snaps, it was really hard. I need to find some good wooden scroll ones. So if anyone knows of the ones that they have gotten that they love, let me know, because I have a couple of big projects coming up and I want to use them on some scroll frames. But Q-snaps have been put to the back at the moment. And why is because I had bought one of the Morgan frames, the quilting frames, the one that's got the big one on the top and the smaller one on the bottom, to do a quilting project. And it'd been sitting there, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try this Morgan frame for my cross stitching, because I often sit and it's easier I don't do two-handed, so it's often easy for me to move my hand up, stitch, and then, do it like that. And I have been using this Morgan frame, and I love it. The tightness of it is fantastic. It doesn't move unless I move it. And I have loved this Morgan frame. So I went and bought a second one. So I've got two on the go, two projects on the go. I can't show you one because one is a new one for my business. But this was the Farm Fresh one that I was working on. Let me put that behind. Can I put that behind? Now, there's another thing I want to tell you that I've found and I love more than anything. I had bought last year, middle of last year. No, probably even at the beginning of 2019. No, 2020, sorry. No, 2019. My gosh, yeah, it was 2019. I had bought probably 10 Christmas colours of the sulky thread. This sulky thread, the 12 weight. And I had it sitting in with all my other threads, never used it, and thought, you know, why haven't I used this? I heard that this is so good, and I just love using one thread instead of 2 threads. Now, I've used Classic Colour Works, Weeks Dye Works, you know, all of them, Colour and Cotton, and I love them still. But I have found that I have a new love for the sulky threads. So I got a gift card for Christmas and I went and bought a whole range. I didn't buy the big box because it came with, like, it was like $100, and it came with all different colors. Now, I'm not necessarily a really bright person. I like the real muted heritage colors and stuff like that. So I picked my own, and it worked out really cheap, actually. I got them, where did I get them? I actually got them from 123 Stitch, and I bought, and you can see through this tin, there's a whole bunch of greens. So you can see, this is probably one of my brightest ones here, the blue. So you can see that I use quite muted colors. Well, these are my new love. I just love these things. The sulky 12 weight threads. I have a couple of variegated ones and I'm going to try them. But if you haven't tried them, give them a go. Some people love them. Some people like their, you know, their hand-dyed floss more. But I just like it because one of these is for 2 strands. And I just love it. And this is what it looks like when it comes out. And the coverage is really, really nice. Well, you can't probably tell a lot with this fabric. But it comes out really nice and I like it because it has like a vintage antique look. And so they're my new thread. So that's what I've been working on, is my Farm Fresh with my new sulky thread and a new design. So that's the only WIPS I've got at the moment. Sorry, I was just standing up. I'm sitting on a stool and it's a little bit hard. So that's it, one of the things that I've been working on. Now, I want to just quickly mention to you, I've only just posted it like an hour ago, that for 2021, I was doing, for 2020, I was doing mystery boxes. And they were a lot of work. I had so many people buy and I was overwhelmed with how well they're sold, and I'm very grateful. But they were a lot of work, and so I'm going to do it differently. I would put them in my Etsy shop and I will let people buy them and then I'd make them. Well, this year in 2021, I'm going to make only a few. There might be only 5 or 6 boxes. And when I put them, and when I make them up and have them already done at my own leisure, then I'll put them in my shop. But up until then, I've just really put a thing up that's going to be coming soon, 2021 mystery bags. Now, I have so much beautiful, cute fabric. Now, you know how I love my fabric and I love mixing and matching my fabric. I have so much beautiful, cute fabric that I thought I'm going to do some mystery bags. Now, I'll still do those that have bought them from me. I'll still do my vinyl mystery bags, but I've also got some new designs coming out that are not vinyl front, and they're really cute. So the first lots will probably be some vinyls until I get into the swing of getting them in there and then having these different types. But the mystery bags will be a themed bag. So there might be a theme of, say, sunflowers or cats or whatever theme. I've done a whole range of them. So there'll be a theme, but you won't know what it is, except I might give you a little clue, a little hint. It might be, you know, I have one of these living in my home. If it's cats, I have one cat living in my home. Jumanji, who drives me crazy, and I love him dearly. So if you know me personally and you follow me here or follow me on Instagram, you might know some little clues about my life that will give you the hint of what these mystery bags are. Or it might just be a clue. And so that'll give you a little bit of a hint if you're a little bit nervous in purchasing them. And each of the bags, normally when you buy my bags, normally they'll come with a little extra gift. Well, these won't have an extra gift, but there will be other items, maybe 1 or 2, that will come with the bag, and the prices will reflect what these bags are. So some of the other ones might be a little bit more expensive because they are different type of bags, and the items that will go with the bags will be a little bit more. So the prices will reflect, not high, but you'll know, and I'll give you the clue, and I'll let you know when they're coming out in my Instagram, on my Instagram. So that's the one thing I wanted to talk about. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was my fully finished. Now, I've got a couple that are really up high up there, and I'm not going to get down, that were fully finished. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have noticed them on my Instagram. I posted it on there. But these were a couple of the things that I had done back in 2018 and were sitting in my cupboard, and I was like, I got to get these out. Now, this one here was from Lizzie Kate. It's called Bless Our Home. And I don't know, I just like them in these black frames, I guess. Well, no, actually, I had got a few black frames from my secondhand shop, and I just used them up. And so that's what happened. That's why it's got, you know, wider on this side and then the top. But this one was supposed to have a little charm, but I like to have glass on my cross stitches just to kind of protect them a little bit. So I didn't put the charm in there. This goes right by, as you walk in our apartment, by the front door there. So that's one of them that I had framed. And the next one I had framed was this one that I had done ages ago. I was trying the DMC variegated floss. I've never done it. And I liked it. And I haven't tried the sulky one, variegated one yet. So I'm going to try that one. But this one I had done back in 2018 as well, which was this piece one. And see, I liked how the variegation, but some parts I didn't like it as much. But I still think this is really cute. There's another one that's got Noel on it. That's in that I'm going to do in green. So those were a couple of the ones, and I have a couple of smaller ones that I had reframed and stuff like that. So I haven't got a lot of fully finished. I've got some that I could make into pillows when I get a chance. So the things that I have bought recently, the only pattern, because I keep on telling you I've got so many, the only pattern that I purchased was this one to go with the other 7 or 8 that I have, is the cinnamon stick Christmas ones. Now, I've shown you, I think it was even in my last video, I showed you the stockings, the cinnamon stick stockings. I have like 6 or 7 of them, I can't remember. And for some reason I found this one and I was like, I got to get this one. It wasn't $10, it was $6 that I think I got this one for. And I really like this one here. He's adorable Santa. You know how much I love my Santas. Into a cushion. And I just really love him. And I'm going to find something else to do his beard with when I get this done one day. So that was the only thing I purchased in cross stitching, except that and the sulky threads this time around. The other thing things that I did quickly purchase, and I want to, well, I also purchased, and this is constant, is supplies for my business, like, you know, magnets for my needle minders, fabric for my bags, yada, yada, yada. And so I'm always purchasing stuff like that. But the other thing that I purchased, I always love going with my daughter to the secondhand shop, and I love books and I love to read, and I found this stack, and I just thought I'd show you what is on my mind and what I'm reading at the moment. I got these, the first 2, I think inspired me because I got Coming to America, and I got a book. I got that for Christmas, and I got a book on Constance Hopkins, who is one of our relatives that sailed, or was the daughter of Stephen and Elizabeth, who were some of the ones that sailed on the Mayflower, and Constance was their daughter. And just getting that has inspired me to look at and read more of these books. This is one of them, Home Life in Colonial Days. Now, these are some from a secondhand shop, so some of them have still got like old wrapping from probably the libraries and stuff at them. But these were only like $1 or $2 each. So Home Life in Colonial Days that I'm dying to get in to have a look at. And I'll probably do that when I start coming to America. And this one, I really love this one because my husband's from Vermont, in the New England area. And this one is called Good Wives, Images and Reality in the Lives of Women in Northern New England between 1650 and 1750. Now, that's got to be around the Mayflower time as well. So I'm really excited to get in and have a little look at all this as well. So that was 2 of them that I purchased. I purchased this one, which was really, it's called These in My Words, The Diary of Sarah Angus Prine between 1881 and 1901 in the Arizona territories. in the Arizona territories. Now, this is written like a novel, but it's actually based on her true life. So I'm excited to get into that one. I bought this one, which was quite interesting. I wanted to know about it. It's called, this was, I looked on the inside, and it was $1 when it first came out. So that shows you how old this one is. It's called The American Canon. And they talk about the Mayflower Compact, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution of the United States, Washington's Farewell Address, the Star-Spangled Banner, Lincoln's second inaugural, I can never say that word, and Wilson's The Road Away from Revolution. So I was interested to read some of those. Another one that I purchased, and I never had one on her, and I want to read this a lot, was Anne Frank Remembered. I've never read anything about Anne Frank. I know the story of her life, but I've never really read anything, so I purchased this one as well. This one I have read his first book, Think and Grow Rich, by Napoleon Hill, and this one's called Outwitting the Devil, The Secret to Freedom and Success. And I really liked his book, Think and Grow Rich, written years ago. So I thought, I'm going to check this one out. And my last one and my favourite, which was like $3, which is a lot for my books that I pay, was this one on Little Women by Alcott. Now this is huge. Look, it's big and thick, and I loved it because it's got pictures and the stories about her and where she got the ideas for Little Women. I really like this book. So that's another one I bought. So that's some of the purchases of my books, if you guys are interested in the books that I read. Another thing that I want to just quickly show you before I finish, because I don't have a lot more to show you, is probably for the last 6 months, I have been collecting a certain type of fabric. My husband is a military man, and so is his family. And I want to make, as you know, a military quilt. And I have been purchasing all red, white and blue to make a patriotic quilt, and even creams, I should say. And just over a period of time, I've just been collecting. Look at these stacks I've got. I'll go into a craft shop, or not craft shop, a quilt shop or a fabric shop to get some fabric for my bags, and I'll find one that I haven't got or one that I like, and I will buy it, and I've just been putting it away. So sometime in 2021, and there's some of the creamy ones, and some of these white ones I might tea dye them because I want it to look quite old. I don't know what pattern I'm going to do yet. I think I've seen some that might have some stars, and I'm not sure if I've talked to you about this or not before. So I want it really, really old vintage like that. So I might even tea dye quite a few of these. Some of these reds are gorgeous. Look at these. And so sometime in 2021, I want to start this patriotic quilt. I haven't found a pattern that I really like yet. There's one that I'm leaning towards. It's stars and smaller stars all around it, and I really like it. So that could be the winner. Perfect for a patriotic quilt. So they're the only other things that I've been purchasing at the moment, is all these fabrics every now and then. Also, I did purchase one piece of fabric, which was a witch old, I think it was a 32 ivory. I'm not sure, I can't remember. When I went to Pine Needles in here in Utah, and I just picked up that because I wanted to kit up a project and have it all done. So I had it when I was already had the fabric ready when I wanted to start it. So basically, that's all I have for you today. I'm sorry it was a little bit long-winded, but I wanted to share with you my experience with COVID. Maybe it can help a lot of those out there that have had it or are going through it right now, or haven't had it and could prevent you from having it or help you. Also, just the simple things that I've been working on. I'm back to doing things in my business slowly, because I get really tired still. and standing for a long period of time hurts my muscles and joints, since COVID has kind of heightened all that as well. I am grateful for you for joining with me today and watching this, and I hope that all of you will have a wonderful rest of the weekend tomorrow. I normally film Saturday mornings, but it's Friday, and I thought I'm gonna maybe go out with my daughter to lunch, grab some takeaway and go to a park. If it's nice, it's looking a little bit overcast, and so I wanted to get it done today. Be safe, everyone. Talk to you next time. Bye.